guys, it's Shelby, otherwise known as Shelbizleee here on YouTube, and today is another installment in my Zero Waste Month series. For the month of July, if you didn't know, I have challenged myself to produce zero waste, and it has been going pretty well, if I do say so myself. The first week of videos I did covered food, grocery shopping, mostly for eating inside my home, but I wanted to see how I could do it if I went out to eat. So we're going to talk about that in this video. If you think that would be helpful to you, make sure you stay tuned. Okay guys, so a few things to consider when you're trying to go out to eat zero waste. First thing is going to be that you're probably not going to be able to eat at all the regular retailers that you're used to. I had become quite accustomed to going out to eat at lunch sometimes with my friends, and that's just something that I couldn't do this month. It's pretty much impossible to get something that is pretty quick without any waste. So that includes things like Panda Express. No more of that eggplant tofu for me. It includes places like Schlotzsky's because their sandwiches and pizzas often come wrapped in paper and things like that. So even though I don't eat typical like really nasty fast food, I still can't go out to eat for lunch pretty much for anything quick anymore. So that's going to be the first thing to consider, and something that I will continue to consider after this challenge is over. You know, when you really think about the fact that you sit down to eat for a few minutes, the process that the things that you're consuming had to go to get to you, and then the lifespan that they're going to have after you for those few minutes of use, blows my mind that that was ever something that someone came up with, and that something that society has accepted to be normal and okay, and I don't think it is. I don't know how I ever like functioned thinking it was okay. I mentioned in the first video of this installment that I have been living a life telling myself, well, I can't get that without packaging, so I just have to do it. But my mentality has shifted now to, if I can't get it without packaging, it's not something I need. And that's pretty much been my mentality for the month of July so far. But that's definitely something you guys are going to want to keep in mind when you're going out to eat. What type of packaging is the food you're going to receive going to come in? For instance, even when I would eat at Panda Express, I keep referencing Panda Express. There's one close to my work. But anyway, even when I would eat there, I would try to eat in instead of eating out, because if you eat out, they're gonna put your food in a styrofoam container, at least where I live. I know in some places styrofoam has been outlawed, but we still have it where I am. But if you eat in store, they'll put it on a paper plate, which is actually a pretty sustainable option. It took me literally years to convince my family to buy paper plates when we're having parties as opposed to styrofoam, but we're finally there, and it's a good thing that Panda offers that option instead of their styrofoam to-go containers. I haven't tried it yet, and I might try it for a video to see if Panda would put my food in a reusable container like the ones we're going to talk about today. That could definitely be a video. Actually, I'm going to do that. Whether or not they'll do it, I don't know. Stay tuned to find out. Anyway, that's the first thing to consider. The second thing to consider is going to be if you're having leftovers. So places that you can still go eat in general are going to be places that are sit-down restaurants. So there's this Chinese place really close to Madison and Mine's house, and we really love to go there. We like, the people who work there know us by our names. They know what we want to order. It's hilarious, but that's what I'm going to be showing you in this video. So we do go there, and I don't know why on earth they don't have reusable chopsticks, but they give us throwaway chopsticks. Why? Why? But that's something you can definitely control. You can bring your own chopsticks, which is where this beauty comes in. You guys may have seen this in the video. I featured it before in the past in my first basically eco-friendly video, I feel like, that was like dedicated directly towards eco-friendly living. It's just this little case that you saw it was wrapped up, and it unwraps, and then you open it up, and it has everything you could need to eat out zero waste. It has your chopsticks, your straw, a fork, a spoon, and a knife. I am in love with this little thing. There are some other options on Amazon if you guys want to check those out. I'll link this one and other ones below. This was only 20 bucks, which to me is a really, really great deal. I've had this for months now. It doesn't get dirty very easily, and there's also a napkin in here, I forgot to mention. But I've just gotten so used to not using napkins that I just don't use them anymore, if that makes sense. Like, I haven't used paper towels, napkins in years. I've never bought a paper towel roll myself. But anyway, you could definitely pick up one of these. These are from an Etsy shop. I love her. She helped me with a giveaway a few months ago, and this is just awesome, awesome, awesome. I'll link this one and some other cheaper alternatives and easier to get alternatives down below, but this thing is awesome. So instead of disposable chopsticks, go for the reusable ones. Another thing you can consider when eating out is obviously the utensils. You can get a spoon and like this instead of using the ones ones that are going to be wrapped in paper towels. I find that restaurants more often used to use reusable napkins to wrap their utensils up in, but now it's becoming more and more common to use disposable things. It's really cool though that I know the people at this Chinese restaurant. I'm trying to like wiggle my way into convincing them to switching to more sustainable packaging. We'll see how far I get with that one. But same thing goes with the straws that they often offer us at the restaurant. I just say no to my straws now, and I make sure I use my straw that I have in this pack right here. It's perfect. I mean, there's nothing better than this right here. And then the last thing to keep in mind, and this is something I've been doing for before I even started this zero waste journey, is bring your own reusable container for the situation of leftovers. At my Chinese restaurant that I'm talking about, they have styrofoam to-go containers, which I hate. It'd be much better if they had the compostable ones, or sometimes even plastic ones can be rinsed and recycled, but usually styrofoam is the most difficult thing to be able to be recycled, so I hate that. But I brought my own, and I was able to put my leftovers into this, so that saved even more packaging that way. So now that we know how to pick the restaurant to have less waste, how to bring our own stuff so that we're not creating more waste, we can talk about the last couple things that aren't associated with solid waste, but still definitely consuming a lot of resources. And the first thing is going to be water. I notice that every time I go out to eat, I get water, okay, and then by the end of my meal I have so much water left over. I usually try to pour it into my bottle, but if my bottle is full or if I forgot to bring it with me, that water gets wasted. So keep that in mind next time you're going out to eat. If the waiter comes over to refill your water bottle and you don't think you need any more water, just politely refuse it, because you don't want it to get poured out. And if you can just tell them, oh, I think I'm good for now, then you won't have to waste any of that water. Definitely still waste, but it's just not the waste in the typical way that we've been talking about it. And the other way that you can conserve some water waste is if you eat meat-free. I haven't talked about that a whole lot on this channel, but I think a lot of you guys know that I try to eat as vegan as I can. I am a vegetarian, so I don't consume any meat, and I don't consume any dairy or eggs or anything like that directly. Sometimes when I'm out eating, I will eat things like that. Things like that is then like if something is made with cream or if something has cheese and I can like prevent it sort of thing, I won't freak out about it. But definitely if you guys know how much water is associated with eating meat and how much land use is associated with eating meat and how many resources it takes to feed those animals just for you to consume them when they're really not that great for you, if you can avoid meat, it's definitely something to start implementing into your life, even if you do it slowly. Slowly start introducing tofu. Chinese restaurants are a great place to start. I highly encourage you guys to do that because you can save a lot of water waste and resource waste in that way. So that's going to be it for me today, you guys. I will link the to-go containers and the reusable utensil sets in the description box below. Definitely check them out because this is a great way to make a small move to make a pretty big impact, I think. If you guys want to know more about my zero waste journey, make sure you're following me on Instagram because I will be featuring other meals and other utensils I am using for the month on there. And remember, until next time, create the peace.